So Preston get this game underway. They're playing in the red shirts and black pants, running from left to right. Newcastle in their customary all yellow. Richard Wilson with an early touch. Mason. Jones making the run. And he gets there before Flavell. That's a good cross. And Jones is left writhing on the ground. And referee Boscovich trotting over to have a look. Well, David Jones just came back into this team after being out last week through suspension. And he's got a very early knock indeed. Last time these two teams met was in Melbourne. Preston won 1-0 with a penalty kick from Gary Ward. And on that day, Newcastle had two players sent off, Joe Senkalski and Michael Bugard. But at the moment there's concern over the condition of David Jones. And he's in some considerable pain. So temporarily Newcastle down to 10 men, as they were in Melbourne for most of the game. Powerful header forward by Mountford. Newcastle playing with the aid of what wind there is, and it's quite considerable. And referee Boscovich has ruled a free kick to Newcastle. That was a bit of a mystery there, presumably for steps. And it's indirect. Shannon over the ball, curls it across. The header goes wide. So a bit of early pressure here by Newcastle. This is a game they must win. They're in third place, a full 6 points behind Preston, and if they were to lose, then Preston would skip away to a 9-point lead over them, and that would be almost an impossible task for Newcastle to make up that leeway. Ward. Watson, this is Mason. And Ojakov lets it run out. Ojakov pushed in the back by Senkalski. Lucchese. Ojakov. Outside of him is Campbell, but he goes alone. Con Aposinas with the throw. And this is Zarko Ojakov. Lucchese towards Campbell. Shannon. Low, nice back heel towards Shannon. Opposinas gets there first. Now Howard Tredinick. And away by Claude Lucchese. Meyer. Burke. Watson. Shannon. Tredinick inside to Mason. Now Shannon. And he goes down. Nothing given. Looked to be a handball there by Ojakov, but play is allowed to go on. Low. So Peter Burke. The long ball. Shannon kills it beautifully. Now Jones, Tredinick coming in support. He doesn't wait for him, but that's well over the head of Mountford. And David Jones allows it to run out. Mason, that was misdirected, and Watson had to drop back to pick it up. Mountford losing to Flavelle. Ojakov, he's been involved very early. Now Jones. That's a good ball. If Channing can touch it on, he can. Burke. This is Senkalski. Tries the shot. Well, not a good shot at all from Joe Senkalski. Tried many such similar attempts last week and all of them were found wanting. Really didn't test the keeper, and the same thing happened on that occasion. Ward jumping with Burke. Meyer. Now Ojakov for Preston. Looks for Ward. Now Senkalski for Newcastle. Mountford. The ball evades them all. This is low. And wins the throw in off Opportunus. Jones, Shannon, throw into Newcastle. Ojakov, Gary Ward. Senkalski wins it back. That's a good ball too. The cross comes towards Lowe. David Lowe screwed the header, and it didn't bother Richard Wilson's goal at all. But all the early pressure is coming from Newcastle. I think that Clint Gosling has even touched the ball to date. Mason. Good touch on. Lowe racing for the ball with Todorovsky. Jones. Lovely skill. Good cross too, but away by David Jones, his namesake. Senkalski. Now David Jones from Newcastle. It's a good cross. Mountford. Ojakov. Excellent control, this Yugoslav star, Zarko Ojakov. Now George Campbell. Lucchese can't keep it in. So that's the first touch of the ball for Gosling. Oh, lovely header by Mountford, finding David Jones. Now Mason tries the shot, and it goes behind for the corner. George Todorovsky was the man who deflected it. So a quickly taken short one. Shannon. Mountford getting up high, and the ball drifts over the crossbar. Well, a promising start to the match by Newcastle, but they've yet to test the New Zealand international keeper Richard Wilson in the Preston goal. Campbell looking for Ilioski. Hardly been sighted to date, Ilioski. Now Mason. Low. And Flavelle, good cover. Tredinick. Mountford kills it well and goes around Todorovsky. That's a good cross, but again over the head of the Newcastle forwards. They've managed to get in a lot of good byline positions, Newcastle, but their crosses have all been overstruck. Burke. Senkalski just keeps it in. And bobbling on that very dusty patch there as David Lowe goes round Opposinas and look to cut it back to Shannon. Now Meyer. Todorovsky for Preston. This is Meyer. Now Mason. This is Shannon. Low. And the ball didn't come out for Senkalski. The shot comes in. And wide by Gary Watson. Ward and Tredinick. Nice header there by Shannon, but there was no one there for Newcastle. Now Meyer, and lost control. A bit of a push there on Mason, but nothing given. Now Lucchese for Preston. Ward. And referee Boscovich having a word with Peter Burke. Obviously for some dissent. And an indirect free kick has been given. So this will be Preston's first chance to mount a worthwhile attack. Flavelle with the free kick. And Gosling got there before Ward. And Ward took a piece of him. Seemed to be a little late on Gosling. Gosling gets to his feet. Seems quite alright. Flavelle under pressure. Now Shannon. Looking for an angle. Low. Shannon. Low. Might try the shot. And a a very necessary touch as far as Preston is concerned by Georgi Todorovsky. Ward looking for Campbell. Watson plays it safe. Now Flavelle. Campbell. This time David Jones pumps it in. Ward is onside. And Gosling had to scramble across his goal there to make a good save. Well, Gary Ward looking for his 9th goal of the season and got a good header on that one. Clint Gosling went down well to put it behind for the corner kick. So Preston get their first corner of the match. Zoran Ilioski going across to take it. And Preston have sent up the big men, David Jones and Todorovsky, but that's a poor corner. Now Senkalski ran into trouble. Not a good cross, and away by Burke. Now Mason. This is Jones. That's a better ball, and away by Todorovsky. Senkalski. Straight at the body of Richard Wilson. But United at last get on target. Low, showing lovely control. And going for the return from David Jones, but the ball had the legs of him, and it's a goal kick. Well, David Lowe hasn't scored for Newcastle since his return from Mexico. Very unlucky last week, hit the post and the bar. So, free kick for Preston, quickly taken there by Opasinas. Flavelle, that's a poor ball. Senkalski, and that's a good early ball. David Lowe, faced by George Todorovsky. Leaves it for Jones. And that was inaccurate by David Jones. Mountford just made a move as Jones was crossing, and the ball landed on the wrong spot as far as Newcastle was concerned. Now Gary Ward for Preston. Ilioski. Odjakov. And not the ball we expect from the Yugoslav star. Low, shadowed by Opasinas. So really the start of this game is what you'd expect when first on the table plays third. Quite open and lots of action as Shannon now has the ball and wins a corner. So Joe Senkalski will take the corner. Wilson under a bit of pressure, has to palm it out, but luckily the ball falls for Preston. This is Claude Lucchese. Campbell making a very spirited run from defence, and this is him. Campbell. Ward touching it on towards Lucchese. And a corner conceded there by Gary Watson. Both Ilioski and Lucchese were pressuring him. So Preston have their second corner of the match. David Jones going up to the near post. On the back post there is Campbell, also Lucchese, Ward and Ojakov up there. And Ward put away by Mountford. Ojakov has a chance to turn it in. And now Ward. Oh, poor touch by Gordon Flavelle. Tredinick, Mountford making the run, goes short to Shannon. Todorovsky, that's not a good ball at all. Now Meyer. Ilioski. Ojakov. Looks dangerous every time he touches that ball, Zarko Ojakov. 4 goals this year after being signed from Vardar Skopje in the Yugoslav First Division. Ward. And this is Senkalski for Newcastle. Shannon. Now low. And Mountford. Just caught offside there, Bob Mountford. Certainly a sweeping move by Newcastle, and Bob Mountford just straying a couple of yards offside. Burke. Tredinick, low, Jones, and Mason, a long ball forward to nobody. Jones. Gary Watson, long ball, and again Preston defence holding firm. Burke now feeds David Jones. Mountford, Shannon, couldn't kill it properly. Tredinick and Ward battling for that ball. Now George Campbell nipping in and showing a clean pair of heels from Gary Watson. Waiting for support and looks for Ward. Away by Mason. Flavelle. And although the crowd doesn't like it, that was the correct decision. Campbell being obstructed by Howard Tredinick. So Preston get the free kick. Gordon Flavelle towards Campbell, away by Tredinick. Trudinic again. Senkalski out on the right and plenty of room. Zhukov closes him down quickly. Low. Jones. That's a better ball. David Jones of Preston nips in and takes it away as Gary Ward goes down. So Gary Ward, joint top scorer in the National League this year with his teammate Claude Lucchese and John Bradley of Leichhardt, gingerly gets to his feet. He'll be looking for his 9th goal today. Meyer. Trudinic. Low. Mason. And not a good ball at all. Flavel cuts it out. Watson. And Mason tenaciously getting the ball forward. Now Lucchese for Preston. Or Zhukov. Ward. And Lucchese is onside, but Trudinic's there to cover. Ward. And had to be kicked anywhere by Gary Watson as George Campbell was bearing down on him. So Preston have the chance to mount another attack. Their attacks in this half have been sporadic to date, to say the least. Terrible throw in, but Zhukov gets the ball back. Won by Senkalski. Now Ilioski. Watson. Mason. Spreading it wide. This is Shannon. Now Campbell for Preston. 3 of them converge on him. That's a lovely ball to Claude Lucchese and lobs the keeper. Superb goal, Claude Lucchese. Oh, what a lovely goal. George Campbell did so well, and then Claude Lucchese controlled the ball and floated it over the head of Clint Gosling. So after 29 minutes in this match, totally against the run of play, Preston take the lead. And now Shannon getting some attention there. Newcastle supporters not happy with that at all. They thought they should have had a free kick, and directly from that decision, Preston went up the field and scored the goal. So Newcastle really have it all to do. Shannon hobbling back on side as we wait for this kick-off. And there's a scoreline: Newcastle 0, Preston 1. So it wouldn't surprise me from here on in to see Preston try and sit on their lead. A win here and they're well on their way to their first National League Championship. Ward, Campbell again, the destroyer, on the run, but that ball won't reach him. Watson away. David Jones looks as though he's lost a boot. Mason flicking it forward. Jones faced by Flavell. Away by Todorovsky. And Ojakov puts it behind for the corner. So everyone bar Clint Gosling in the Preston half. And a terrible corner, but it comes out to Senkalski. Oh, I say! Oh, Joe Senkalski, what a goal! Well, Joe Senkalski hasn't scored a goal this season, and he won't score one ever that is better than that. And in the 32nd minute, the crowd here at the International Sports Centre goes wild. Richard Wilson didn't move and the ball rocketed into his top right-hand corner. And this game in the last 3 minutes has erupted with two superb goals. So Senkalski makes a scoreline: Newcastle 1, Preston 1, and the game is back on the boil. Low. Flavell hooks it away. Trudinic. Lucchese, the goal scorer, finds Ward, or rather Ilioski. Now Ojakov. Preston can come forward. 4 men in front of the ball for Preston and cut out by Watson. Ojakov gets it back. And this is Campbell. It's a good cross, but Burke was in the way. Looking for Ilioski on the far post, that ball by Ojakov. Very intelligent. Now Meyer. And away by Todorovsky. Ojakov. Ward free to run at the defence. Tries the shot, with the ball held up in the wind. Very difficult to try and chip the keeper against the wind. And Gary Ward failed by a long way on that occasion. Good goal by Newcastle. Jones, and David Jones, his namesake, was leaning all over Mountford. So So Newcastle get the free kick, and again everyone bar Gosling inside the Preston half. Howard Tredinick looks as though he'll take it. It's not a good free kick. Senkalski tries again, but this time it goes wide. Mason hoisting it forward. Mountford. And Lowe won't keep that in. Opposinas. Ward pushed off the ball. Lucchese and Mountford for Newcastle. Now Tredinick has the chance to bring it forward. Watson, Mason, this is Shannon and Jones, a good cross. David Jones, his namesake, was there to clear it for Preston as Bob Mountford was waiting just behind him.
Where you buying the points from, Preston?
Now Shannon. It's a nice cross. Mountford rose but couldn't hit it. Now Mason. Senkalski tries another shot. Just over the bar by Joe Senkalski. Again, he really let fly with the right foot on that one and had a tremendous amount of pace on it, but the ball on this occasion cleared the crossbar. Well, there he is, Joe Senkalski, certainly playing a good game today. Campbell, stopped by Howard Tredinick. Lovely turn by George Campbell. And the wind is pretty strong down there, as we see by that kick from Clint Gosling. Certainly travelled a long way on the full. Senkalski, Watson, David Jones forward for Preston. Now Mason. Mason again, and outside of him is Senkalski. The ball didn't reach him. Opposinas for Preston. That's a bad ball, Mason. And Senkalski has a bit of room, although Ilioski is in pursuit. Corner to Newcastle. So Big Peter Burke trotting up for this corner. He's scored two before from this position for Newcastle. And David Jones going over to take it. That's curling in. Wilson punches it out for another corner. Well, David Jones using the wind there, and that ball had a tremendous amount of swerve on it. Short one now. This is Senkalski. Mason, and it's a goal! The ball drifting slowly into the back of the net, and Newcastle take the lead. Well, that seemed almost slow motion soccer. The The cross from Simkalski came over, and Newcastle's captain, Craig Mason, rose and hit it gently into the net as the Preston defence stood and watched. So 40 minutes of the match gone, and the National League leaders Preston are down 2-1. So what a turnaround. 13 minutes ago Newcastle were down 1-0, and then in the space of 8 minutes they knocked in two very nice goals, especially the first one from Joe Simkalski. And now the National League leaders, who haven't lost in 11 matches, are down 2-1. Lucchese. Now Ojukov, he's free, and a great save by Gosling. Well, a lovely run by Zarko Ojukov and a beautiful save by Clint Gosling. Now Simkalski, Newcastle on the counter-attack. This is Mason, and now Trudinic. Jones. And a foul by Gordon Flavelle on the edge of the box is punished with a free kick. So this is extreme danger here for Preston. Burke is up there, and Todorovsky puts it behind for the corner. So Newcastle's last corner was particularly successful. Let's see what they can do from this one. Simkalski is going to take it. Short one to Shannon. Now Jones. Towards Burke, and Peter Burke holds his head as the ball just cleared the crossbar. Ilioski looks for Ojukov, but interceded by Simkalski, who gets the ball back from Meyer. That's a little ambitious. Lucchese. Ward's made a bit of room. Watson still hassling him. And it's a corner kick. So Preston again send David Jones forward for this corner. And it's towards Ward, but away by Mountford. Flavelle, but offside is Ilioski. So Ralph Meyer will take the free kick as we're into the final minute of the first half. Low. And George Todorovsky, who's playing his first match in 6 weeks, hasn't had the happiest of matches. Now Shannon for Newcastle towards Jones, but Richard Wilson is there first. Trudinic. Low. Jones gets away from Opasinas, and a nice cross, but away by Todorovsky. And Trudinic upends Campbell, and the Preston players aren't happy about that. Certainly there was no need for that late challenge by Trudinic. Obviously he was a bit unhappy with the original challenge by George Campbell. And in fact, it's a free kick to Newcastle, quickly taken. Mountford. And George Todorovsky was alive to the possibility there. And Bob Mountford had almost an open goal and was denied at the very last second by a last gasp challenge. So, a yellow card is now produced as Newcastle prepare to take the corner, and it goes to Gordon Flavell. So, Mick Shannon now, after all that excitement, will now prepare to take the corner. Again, Burke is up there, standing right in front of Richard Wilson. Flavell, Campbell, now Jones. And the ball was a bit too strong. Ward, forward by Trudinic, the big up and under, and Jones and Mountford tussle, and a free kick goes against Mountford. Now a Jakov. Campbell couldn't keep it in. Senkalski. Todorovsky, pursued by Shannon. Goal kick. So 2 minutes of injury time have been played as the sun peeps through the clouds here at the International Sports Centre. Burke, Mountford, Jones, and there's the half-time whistle. And an excellent first half of football it was. 3 goals, and all of them good goals. The first one coming in the 29th minute when Lucchese picked up a ball from Campbell and deftly lobbed keeper Gosling. Then Newcastle hit back, and a superb goal from Senkalski from all of 30 metres left Richard Wilson stranded on the line. And finally they went ahead when, in the 40th minute, Craig Mason got on the end of a Senkalski cross to make it 2-1. Half-time score here at the International Sports Centre reads Newcastle KB United 2, Preston 1. So the second half gets underway, and now Newcastle United will be playing against a very stiff breeze indeed. So Trudinic will take the throw. Shannon, Jones, and the ball holds up in the wind. Senkalski, and just couldn't cut it back. So Preston get the free kick there, and Joe Senkalski just failing to pull that ball back far enough for the Newcastle forwards to get on the end of it. The wind seems to have strengthened, if anything, and we can expect some long-range efforts from Preston in this half, in a similar vein to Joe Senkalski's first half effort. And this is the man who scored with that effort, Joe Senkalski. Now Meyer. Goes around 2 of them, and Ojakov seemed to hold him off, Senkalski. Trudinic. Shannon. Well read by Gordon Flavell.
Come on, Shannon, Joe's showing you! Dad's got back England and you're staying here! Get her up and jump and play, play division!
Todorowski, back to Flavell. Ward looks for the touch. Away by Mason. Senkalski, low on the run. He'll have to really hurry to keep this in, but he does. And good defensive cover by George Campbell. And a long kick by Wilson, touched on by Ward towards Lucchese. And Gosling makes a meal of it, and it's a corner kick. Well, that was a very long kick indeed by Richard Wilson. The ball really travelling with a lot of pace as well as distance.
Just because you lost the game last week, you know!
So now Preston have their first corner of the half. And this will be curled in by Zoran Ilioski. And Gosling makes a clean catch. Well, he certainly needed that, Clint Gosling, to get his confidence back after last week's terrible error where Newcastle lost the game. Now Senkalski. McMillan. Brought down by Senkalski. Didn't seem to be much in that challenge. Ward, nice touch towards Lucchese. Manford touching it on. This is Shannon. And a good ball finds Howard Tradinic as the rain begins to fall. Low, Shannon. Low gets it back. Now Mason. And well cut out by George Campbell. And that's a missed kick by Watson, but it finds the touchline and safety. Shot comes in, but that's well wide from the boot of Gordon Flavell. Jones. And having difficulty controlling the ball on that very dusty surface over there. Flavell. And that's a good throw. This is David Jones. Away by Senkalski. Ilioski nips in. Preston players still having difficulty measuring their passes with the aid of the wind they've got behind them. They'll have to hit it a lot softer. They'll have to adjust after playing into that very strong wind in the first half. Ojakov, Mason. Now Todorovsky forward. This is Ojakov, Ilioski. Now Zarko Ojakov. So David Jones coming up for the corner. Claude Lucchese on the far post, Gary Ward on the near. Also up there is Ojakov as they wait for the Campbell corner. The ball hanging in the wind. Jones got right underneath that one. David Jones, they're not happy with himself at all. Mountford shielding the ball well. Free kick against Jones. Burke lobbing it forward and the ball swirling in the wind. Senkalski. Tredinik now, faced by Lucchese. Senkalski. Todorovsky comes away with it. Senkalski. Away by Jones. Low. And a bit of climbing it seemed there by Macmillan. Nothing given though. Mason. And Howard Tredinik should have done better. Fundamental error, allowing the ball to roll under his foot. And that ball really travelling. And away by Watson. And it's a corner kick. Well, those long kicks by Richard Wilson already causing the Newcastle defence a lot of trouble. And now Zarko Ojakov comes over to take the corner. Curling it in. And that was very close indeed from Claude Lucchese. Well, Gosling came and missed. And the ball landed at the feet of Lucchese and he volleyed over from 5 metres out. Well, that was a let-off for Newcastle United. Claude Lucchese looking to get into double figures this year individually, but missed. Jones battling with Flavelle. And tries to find Low, but away by Macmillan. So 10 minutes gone in the second half, still Newcastle leading 2-1. Mountford judging it better than Jones. Now Opasinas. Throw into Newcastle. Shannon. Faced by Macmillan. Gets a cross in. Todorovsky. And Shannon charges it down. And the ball almost running goalward. But luckily for Preston, just ran across the face to safety. Certainly a bad piece of play there by George Todorovsky. Now Senkalski for Newcastle. Waiting for the runs. going on his own. And that's a good ball to Mountford. And a great save by Wilson. What a lovely ball by Joe Senkalski. Now Preston can come forward with Zarko Ojakov. Does so well Ojakov, and offside is Lucchese. Well, end-to-end stuff here now. First, a great save at one end by Richard Wilson, the New Zealand international keeper. And then a lovely run by Ojakov finishes off when Lucchese just straight offside while in a very dangerous position indeed. Zarko Ojakov shakes his head, but it indeed seemed the right decision by the linesman. Ward touching it forward and back now by Burke to Gosling. Now Lowe, nice touch to Senkalski, he's having a good game. Back to Lowe, and now out to Shannon. Not a good cross though by Mick Shannon, and he's not happy with himself. Ojakov. Got the ball on a string, Zarko Ojakov. Closed in by 4 Newcastle men. The ball still in play. And McMillan sees it out for a goal kick. Now Flavelle for Preston. Ward. And offside again, Lucchese. Well, Claude Lucchese giving his marker, Howard Tredinnick, a very hard time indeed. Getting behind him on 2 occasions, but just straying offside on both of them, but not by much. Certainly Tredinnick will have to watch him closely if Newcastle are to survive this half with their goal intact. Campbell going round Meyer. Ward. Low. Mason. That's a good ball too. Shannon. Inside Senkalski is Meyer. And good challenge by George Campbell. And the throw in goes to Preston, much to the displeasure of the local crowd. Now Ojakov gets it back off Senkalski. Lovely skills by Zarko Ojakov. This is Ilioski. Flavelle. Ward and Lucchese inside, and not a good ball. Away by Mason. Low in the middle of the dust bowl. Finds Joe Senkalski. Low making a run, and Senkalski picks him out, and they all miss it. Jones. Low and Jones get in each other's way, and cleaned up by McMillan. No Lucchese getting on the end of that stray header by Watson. Good cross, and Gosling does well. Well, this has really been an excellent match to date. Usually these big matches are so tight and have so much at stake that the players tense up and the game as a result suffers, but this hasn't been the case today. Mountford. Senkalski killing it beautifully, and Shannon now is free, and he gets it. And a goal kick. No, corner is given. The ball seemed to came off Shannon. Certainly George McMillan wasn't happy about it. Short one finds David Jones. And Wilson, under a lot of pressure from Mountford, complains to referee Boscovich about the challenge. And the referee indeed has a word with Bob Mountford, tells him to cut it out. Watson forward. Now Shannon taking over from Senkalski. And pushed in the back by Ojakov. Free kick to Newcastle. So Shannon takes it, not a good one at all. There really weren't many yellow shirts to aim at though. Burke. And right across the field to Senkalski. And tried the same thing again, but the ball went astray. This is Tredinic though. Lovely turn by Lowe and feeds Jones. Inside is Shannon and Mountford, but the ball reaches neither of them. Mason. And a goal kick. Todorovsky finds Ojakov, who's moved out to the right. Flavel. Long ball looking for Campbell. Meyer in the way. Now Ilioski. Campbell. Nice cross and away by Burke. Ojakov gets down to the byline and a goal kick. Craig Mason just managing to kick the ball onto Zarko Ojakov. So Newcastle having a lot of difficulty against the wind, especially with goal kicks and clearances from Clint Gosling. This time does a bit better. Surely a handball there by McMillan, not given. And Shannon is surprised, to say the least. Senkalski. Mason takes over. Shannon. That's a bit short from Mason. And Flavel all the way back to Wilson, who will undoubtedly hit a very long ball forward. Burke winning over Ward. Senkalski again floating it up into the wind. This is Shannon. Finds Mountford. No, he doesn't. David Jones nipped in. But that was Mick Shannon at his best. Killing the ball and looking for a support in one motion. Now Campbell for Preston. Goal kick. And the Preston players protest, Claude Lucchese in particular. So, almost half of the second half gone and still the Newcastle defence holding firm. Jones and Mountford battling for that. Now Ilioski for Preston. Flavel. Ojakov. Away by Watson. Kept in by Jones. No, in fact the ball had gone out. Lucchese, Ilioski, Flavel. This is Lucchese, and away by Watson again. Now Shannon feeds David Lowe. Doesn't have much support though, Lowe. He'll have to go on his own. Senkalski's coming up now. This is him. Shannon. Senkalski, can he get it back? And a goal kick. Well, again, Newcastle looking dangerous on the break. All set up by a lovely run by David Lowe. And the 1-2 by Shannon. And Senkalski just went astray. Now Jones, but that goes out. Flavel. Todorovsky. And Shannon wins it, and this is Mountford. He's got one option to find David Lowe. Good piece of play there by McMillan to shadow the ball away from Lowe. Lucchese. This is Ojakov. And the ball reeked away from him. Now Senkalski. Lowe again is free. But under pressure, Senkalski couldn't be accurate as he has been in the past. Now Ilioski. Opposinas. Campbell. Mountford touching it on. Jones towards Flavel. Now Mason. First time ball looking for Shannon. He'll have difficulty controlling this, but he does. Mason. Jones. Shannon. Oh, a lovely ball by Mick Shannon, picking out Ralph Meyer. And that really was an interesting try by Meyer, but didn't bother Richard Wilson much at all. Flavel. Ojakov can't control, this is Ward. Now Lucchese. This is Ilioski. Ward going up for it, but beaten by Burt. Senkalski now. Bringing it forward, waiting for some movement from his front runners. Finds Lowe. Inside is Mountford, and in fact it comes to Jones, but he lets it go under his foot. Tries the shot again, but the chance had passed. Well, David Jones, had he hit it first time, might have scored Newcastle's third goal after that lovely run by David Lowe. Meanwhile, Preston want to make a substitution. Gordon Flavel coming off. Or is it in... No, in fact it's Zoran Ilioski coming off. And player coach Peter Ollerton putting himself up front. So we'll see what the reshuffle in the Preston team is. With Ollerton coming on, he seems to have gone to centre forward position, so they'll be playing with 3 up front. Possibly pushing Flavelle up into the midfield to take Ilioski's place. Now this is David Lowe for Newcastle. There's only Senkalski and Todorovsky there. Comes down to Mason. Now Senkalski. Wilson, no trouble. And that ball finding its way all the way to his opposite number, Clint Gosling. Senkalski. And Ojakov and Ward getting in each other's way, and a good ball finds David Lowe, pursued by Opposinas. And the referee, has he given a free kick to Newcastle? Yes, it appears so. Newcastle only throwing 2 men up. Shannon plays a short one. Shannon again, and it's a corner. So Newcastle leaving 3 men back at all times to cover Preston's 2 front runners. But meanwhile, David Jones goes up to take this corner kick. It's curled in towards Burke, and he obstructed Richard Wilson. Burke, a good header forward. McMillan. Flavelle. Watson showed a bit too much of it to Ward, but got it back. Now Todorovsky. Flavelle. Long ball. Lowe losing out there to Opposinas, and Ollerton and Burke having a bit of a collision. Ollerton, the only player coach in the league. He'll have Big Peter Burke marking him, as this is Zarko Ojakov now for Preston. And the throw-in goes to Preston. Joe Senkalski thought otherwise. Opposinas with it. This is Ward. And a free kick to Preston. So now it's Preston's turn to throw the red shirts forward. Ollerton on the far side, Ward in the middle. Goes towards Ollerton. And the chance comes down for David Jones, and he volleys just over the bar. Well, David Jones, he was perfectly balanced, had his body over it, but the ball just dipped too late and just over the crossbar. So 15 minutes to go in this match. Newcastle still hanging on tenuously to their 2-1 lead. Mason. This is Senkalski, he's played a fine game to date. Shannon. Senkalski again. Floating it forward to Lowe. And what a good ball that was. David Lowe made the run, he was covered by 2, but the ball still found him. And Newcastle now have the corner kick. Jones chips it towards Lowe, but that's over his head, and Wilson has no trouble at all. Now the long kick for the quick break by Preston. Ollerton looks for the flick on. Tredinick battling with Ward. This is Ollerton. Campbell. A good chip to Ollerton, but his header was weak and straight at Clint Gosling. Low. Surely brought down there. No, says the referee. This is Ojakov. Sold a beautiful dummy to Senkalski. Now Opasinas. Ward. Meyer finds Burke. And he puts it out for the throw in. Ojakov, Opasinas, Ward, and this will give Newcastle a chance to make their substitution. David Jones coming off and Brett Cowburn coming on. Forward by David Jones. Lovely ball. This is Claude Lucchese. And Meyer, rather Tredinick under a bit of pressure, had to go back to Gosling. That was a rather stupid throw by Clint Gosling, putting his own man under pressure. This time the long kick. Mountford touches it on. Forward by Todorovsky. Now Senkalski. This is low. Looks for Mountford but can't find him. Ward. Ojakov bundled over by Mason. Certainly not a red card or a yellow card offence, but it looks as though he's going to get one. And Gordon Flavelle diving in as well. Well, that looked to be a legitimate shoulder charge. Zarko Ojakov going down in a heap, and referee Boscovich producing the yellow card. Gordon Flavelle also a bit lucky that he wasn't sent off for trying to retaliate. He's already been previously booked. Well, the Newcastle captain, he seems to collect yellow cards with monotonous regularity. He's already been suspended once this season, and now it looks as though perhaps he might be suspended for Newcastle's next match away to West Adelaide. So Zarko Ojakov looks to be okay. And Preston throw, four of them up forward to wait for this long free kick. It's towards Ollerton. Tredinick gets in the way. Lucchese looks to touch it on, but Watson wins. Todorovsky. Ollerton, but beaten by Burke. This is Shannon now on a run. Jones low through the middle, and the ball wasn't hit strongly enough. Opasinas now for Preston. Ojakov, who looks to have recovered. Forced back by Meyer, but a good ball looking for Flavelle, doesn't reach him. In fact, that ball seemed to be swept forward by the wind. Now this is Flavelle. Mountford gets a touch. Away by Mason. Lowe skips away from one challenge but doesn't have any support. But he'll go on his own, David Lowe. Crowded out though by weight of numbers. Now Campbell on the break. Ward. Good challenge there from Peter Burke. Shannon. Senkalski. Goes around one. With one on his right foot though. This is Cowburn, first touch of the ball. Tredinick tries the shots. Well, Howard Tredinick yet to score this season. Certainly that shot didn't bother Richard Wilson at all. Flavelle, Ollerton touching it forward to Ward. And back by Meyer to Gosling. And a good throw this time by Gosling. Finds Senkalski, who's got his socks down now. A sign of all the work he's done in the match. This is Shannon. Doesn't have the speed he had before, Shannon. And Wilson, a good catch. And a very long kick indeed from Richard Wilson. All the way back to Gosling. So end-to-end stuff here. Tredinick finds Cowburn. This is Mason. Oh, and a poor ball by Mason. Senkalski was free in the middle. McMillan, a long ball forward. Mason finds Senkalski. Implored by the crowd to go on his own, but this is Lowe. Good cross. This was pressure for Wilson. No whistle there. Now Ward. Ollerton. Ward continues to run. Touched on there by Mountford was a goal kick by Gosling. And now we can expect a long kick by Wilson. And indeed, he satisfies that demand for Preston and Campbell. That's a bad mistake. Now Lowe. This is Lowe. Lowe. Bad ball by Senkalski. Perhaps the first mistake he's made today. Flavelle with Cowburn in pursuit. Cowburn wins it off him and hoists it forward looking for Lowe, and Lowe touches it on. This is Mountford. Opposinas wins it for Preston. Jones for Preston. Now Cowburn. And Flavelle can't keep it in play. So the minutes ticking away for Preston. 3 minutes left, and they'll have to pull something out of the fire if they're to win this match. Shannon, nice touch to Mountford. Now Cowburn, very difficult to shoot against the wind, Newcastle are finding. So Newcastle at this stage content to hang on to their 2-1 lead. Mason getting in the way of Burke. Now Cowburn. Lucchese gives him a bit of a push. That's a good powerful header forward. And Lucchese can't keep it in. And Newcastle are pinned back in their own half at this stage. They'd prefer the ball up the field. Mountford missing it completely. And now the throw-in goes to Preston. Flavell will take it. Flavell again. Sinkowski can take it out for Newcastle. This is Mountford. Not controlling it too well at all, but finds Cowburn. Or rather Tredinick, in fact. This is Cowburn, or Shannon now. Not a good ball by Shannon, giving it away. Now Flavell into the last minute. As George Campbell can come forward for Preston. Preston throwing plenty of men forward. And Ollerton, who is unmarked, gets the ball. And Lucchese dived in there. And just as well for Newcastle that he didn't get a touch. Certainly a lovely ball by Campbell. A good nod on by Ollerton, but Lucchese couldn't get on the end of it. Now Campbell again. Flavell. Again Ollerton looking for the run. This is Tredinick. Cowburn touching it on. Todorovsky. Opposinas. Ollerton back to Opposinas, who's made a bit of space. Goes round Cowburn, Opposinas. And the ball is out for a goal kick before he could pull it back. And Zarko Adjakov looks to the heavens. So it's what time referee Tony Boscovich will add on for stoppages, and there was one when Odjakov was injured, so perhaps there might be a couple more minutes. But Preston are staring defeat down the gun barrel, something they haven't tasted for many months. Now Jones forced to go back, or sold a lovely dummy to Shannon. McMillan. Jones. Now Mason. Wide is Sinkowski, and that's where the ball will go. And he's flattened very late by Gary Ward and George McMillan. So the free kick goes to Newcastle. Into the second minute of injury time now. Mason a short one to Cowburn. And down the line to Mountford. And there's the final whistle, and Newcastle have done it. Well, Preston's unbeaten run of 11 league matches comes to an end. Preston haven't tasted defeat since the 10th of April in round 5 when they lost to Brisbane City. So a really entertaining match here as Newcastle United running out winners in this National League match at the International Sports Centre by 2 goals to 1. All goals coming in the first half. Again, Craig Mason and Joe Senkalski for Newcastle, and for Preston, Claude Lucchese. So the final score here again at the International Sports Centre reads Newcastle KB United 2, Preston 1.
Can you give us a 30-second summary in the second half?
Okay.
Thanks very much.
The second half was characterised by Newcastle generally playing defensive and trying to hit Preston on the break. Preston, although they were playing with a very stiff wind in the second half, created very few clear-cut opportunities and really didn't show enough to take the points. So deservedly, Newcastle